Attitude check. Bronco Pike.
How's it going, Bronco Nation? I'm your host, Victoria Mechi, and today I'm joined here with Bobby, FSU's bowling head coach. Coach, thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you.
So you had a very successful season last year, going in #1 seed, winning your 5th CIAA title, as well as you had 2 consecutive titles back to back with this one. How has that impacted, the dynamic of your team?
Well, first I would probably say it impacted them greatly. We've been a successful team all during the time we've had bowling season for the 20-something years. We were in a situation where we could always get to the championship, but we just couldn't step over to make that final step over. Last year and the previous year, especially when you talked about 22-23 or 23-24 year in which we won, that was sort of like the stepping stone. We've always had the talent, and I tried to tell them, they put too much pressure on themselves and wanting to win. I said, you just got to let it come to you. You just can't be forcing yourself. We kept doing a little small thing that was hurting us at the end. Collectively, though, from winning the first one, the first one taught them a valuable lesson about being a team, a total team. I say, listen, we can't win championships if we don't act as one. We may be 7, 8 different people, 9 different people, but we got to act as one. After winning that, they learned to focus it's all about the one, setting aside all the personal problems, all the other problems they may have in their life. And when we come for those particular days to bowl our championship, we all got to focus. After winning 23-24 year, they understood what I was trying to tell them all these other previous years. Yes. They finally figured out, Coach, you're right. We can't win it. All of us got all kinds of different opinions about what's going to happen, what we need to do. I say, no, we got to speak as one. Yes. And it should only be one person speaking, which is me. The rest of y'all need to listen. You have the talent, but I had too many, I guess, lack of a better word, individuals. I said, we got to focus as one. Yes. When they won it last year, that was fine. It was outstanding. They knew it. We lost one person. We came back. This year, we brought in 2. Or rather, the past year when we won it, we brought in 2 people in. Those 2 people helped tremendously in terms of building that gap, in terms of being as one. They had the talent. Bowling is a type of sport, like we've always got bowlers. I would probably say my first 18, 19 years, all of my team really just came from Fayetteville. The vast majority was just Fayetteville, wow, which is ideal. But the problem was they lacked what I call the experience in terms of bowling in front of large groups, in front of the media, television. We didn't have that. For us, bowling is not what you call a high school sport. Yes. So as I explained to the athletic director and to the chancellor, I need to be able to get some people outside the state. Now I'm gonna tell you, we get some people outside the state in which bowling is a high school sport, got to transform our program. Over the last 4 years, we brought in Paige and Erica from out of Ohio. Tremendous turnaround, tremendous. I've got in 2 freshmen this year, which is Nicole and Janari. One is from Florida, one is from New York, big time bowlers. And of course, all of them know me. The one thing that come out of my mouth first is what? And I always tell them this, of course, we know it's about them academic. They know I don't play about academic. Yeah. I say, we can't be successful. With the kind of sport we in, success for us has to be both academics as well as the sport, because we don't have a long history. Bowling has only been existing, 22 years? That's it. So we have a short existence. So we have to really, as I tell them, I have to push both, the academic side as well as the bowling side. Well, other sports, they've been here since the dawn of time, so to speak. Any student, I look at right now, which I'm constantly talking to the AD about, there's still a lot of students that really don't know we have a bowling team. And I look at the success. When I look at the general success of the program, other than probably cross country, nobody has won more than we have. We got 1,300 games. You got, 22 divisional championships. Yes. We've been to the championship, the CIAA conference championship, believe it or not, 16 times. Wow. Nobody's done that. And I'm not even going to get into the part of how many players made all conference. No two teams can catch us
Right.
in terms of the number of people that made all conference. So I mean, it's been a successful program. And as I tell them, I put it all on them. Most of the time people say, Coach, we want to interview you and that. And I said, no, interview the players. They the one that doing it. They say, Coach, why? I said, because when I played sports, I always felt that a lot of times the players didn't get enough recognition. Like I tell them, I say, look, the coach get paid, the players don't. And they all agree with me. I say, don't worry about it, we ain't getting that kind of money though. So, but all in all, being successful, looking at what we did the year before, what we did this past year, hopefully that will pass on to what we're doing this year, because they all want to three-peat. Look, like they say, look, Coach, you done did two-peat twice. We need a three-peat now. I think the talent is there. It's just a question of how well we can focus this year. Because like I told them, I said, listen, the season is going to be some ups and downs. But as I tell them, it's all about getting it smooth by the time we get to the end of our season and get ready for the championship.
Absolutely. So you did talk about moving with oneness, and you talked about your two freshmen, Janari and Nicole. With your veterans, how have they been able to kind of bring the freshmen along and instill that kind of championship mindset or champion mindset coming into this season?
Well, in the eyes of what my old heads told the freshmen, they said, Coach, we ain't that to do but one thing. I said, what was that? We let them look at them rings.
Yeah.
Them rings, there's a lot, especially this past year's ring, which I thought was probably one of the best rings out in terms of all the athletic teams and stuff. But they all got them together, they sat down and talked to them. One of the biggest things when freshmen come in, and I always tell my freshmen this, I know it's a lot of questions you always want to ask about the coach. I can sit here and tell you everything, but like I always tell them, it's nothing better to hear about your coach than to hear from your players, because they can tell you exactly what's what. They can tell you right now when it comes to Coach Henderson, believe me when he tell you. He don't believe in repeating nothing, so you need to be paying attention when he's talking. He demands silence when he's talking and stuff. He's a great coach. He don't fuss, he don't cuss, he don't raise sand, and they'll tell him right quick, he take losing just like he take winning. Because the one thing he always tells us, we may not win them all, but we sure enough not gonna lose them all. So, that's what I look forward to. As I explained to them, anything that you want to ask me, or you feel that you can't ask me, go ask my players. I don't try to hide anything. They'll tell you everything up front. They've been great to them. They've been talking to them, letting them know what to expect. I've been telling them, I said, you as freshmen, when we go to that first tournament, I can tell you exactly what you're going to say after the first day. They say, what time we getting back to this hotel room? Because I didn't know bowling was this long. And that's the thing a lot of people don't understand. They think because it's bowling, there's nothing to it. But you try getting at a bowling alley at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you might get back to the hotel room at 8 or 9 that night. That's all day.
Right.
All day. And that's Friday, Saturday. Only Sunday is short, but heck, we wake up early on Sunday so we get them games in. So, I mean, it's a strenuous sport. It's a mind sport. It takes a lot. You got to have a lot of willpower to be able to, bowl all day, And I tell a lot of folks, all you need to do is just come to one of our matches. You'll see what we're talking about. It ain't what you think it is. It ain't no 2 hours now.
Exactly.
It's not that. It's long. But in all, I expect these two freshmen to really help us a lot. Like I say, I lost Denise, I lost Jada, but the two that's coming in are the equivalent to the same two that I lost.
Yes.
They can throw their ball. One had a 207 average, the other one had a 197 average. So I don't think we'll be lost. As I told the two freshmen, the only problem you're gonna have is you're gonna have to learn the patterns the first year. You're not gonna average no 200 or no 197 the first year. I can tell you that right now. You can ask the old head. It takes you a year to learn the pattern because our patterns are not like y'all patterns.
Right.
In the South, we deal with a lot more oil on the lane than y'all do. Y'all have more dry lane. We have more oil lane. Your ball is not going to react the same way. So that's something that they have to learn, which I'm trying to get them to do now. Because I told them you have to learn two positions: your position and learning how to throw from the right.
Right. So you've talked about how getting up 8 a.m. you might leave till 9 p.m. So it seems like it's having a little bit of discipline, and you've also touched on making sure that they are staying academically aware, going to class. So how have you been able to transfer that with, coaching them, instilling and having that discipline and making sure that your players are actually coachable to be disciplined?
Lack of a better word is they would say, Coach, you threatening us. I say, no, I'm for real. If you think I'm not, ask the old head. They be nodding their head. Listen, when he say something, believe me, we tell you, he mean what he say.
Right.
And when it comes to that academics, he don't play. He mean that you ain't functioning, you're not going to be playing.
Right.
And as I tell them, just like I tell their parents, I tell them up front, ma'am, your daughter got to perform in class. I make that clear. When I go out and look for recruits and stuff, they got to have a 3.2 to start with. And that's the first question come out my mouth. What's your GPA? What's your grade point at? And I try to explain to them the reason why I ask that question. My sport is so much different from the other sports in terms of the length of time. You leave out on Thursday, so you're talking about missing classes on Thursday and Friday. Right. Somebody with a 2.5, 2.6, that many days out, that's not going to work.
Right.
I got to know that you are capable of doing the work, because my players will tell you, I stand at the bus. First thing coming out of my mouth, look, you got your tablets, you got your books. Don't you get on this bus without your work. Because wherever we go, there's time down where they're in their room doing their work. And some of them, they'll be the first to tell me, Coach, I got to get a test tonight. I got a test. 9 o'clock, I got to be at the hotel. And once they tell me, and I always tell them to tell me that if you have to do a test, certain time we have to be back, you inform me so I can make sure you back. Because I don't take anything away from them from getting their work, because they know that's what I'm about. When I see them all the time, mainly that's one of my first questions come out my mouth. How we doing in class? Is there any problem? Anything I need to know? Any help I need to give? And I tell and I push that. I said, look, ladies, don't be scared to ask me. Now, if you are scared, ask your teammates, because they're gonna tell you. You better go tell your coach.
Right.
So they're gonna tell you up front. I don't have a problem. Listen. I'm not saying that all y'all have to be Einstein, because even Einstein wasn't that smart, because he failed a class too.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, if you know you're doing bad, you got to seek help. That's the number one thing I try to push. You got to seek help if you're having problems. If you're seeking help and you're still having problems, that means that course just wasn't meant for you, so you know what that means. You got to take it over. But you better be passing everything else. I give an example to my players, especially the freshmen, some of them from last year. I had a young lady on my team. She was scared to tell me, and I always tell the old heads to be telling them, look, whether y'all know it or not, Coach know the grades before y'all tell him.
Right.
He gonna tell you, I want the grade, and I tell him the reason why, because I want you to tell me what you made, even though I'm already know what it is. So I had this young lady that got an F in the class. Now, they was unimpressed because she had an F. Well, she was unimpressed because she had an F. She was gonna be put off the team because they know I said, did I ever tell anybody I was putting y'all on the team because you made an F? Look, I know it's ups and downs,
Right.
So she's in there crying. I'm trying my darndest not to laugh because it was funny. The old heads already knew what was gonna happen. So after she finally came out and told me she had got an F grade, I looked at her, I said, now listen, you got an F. What was your other grades? A. She had 6 A's and 1 F. Your grade point average is still 3.5.
True.
I said, listen, you take that F grade over next semester in summer school and move on. I said, listen, I didn't say you couldn't make an F. I don't want you to make an F, but I do understand there are going to be times where you may get a class where you may not understand the teacher, you may not understand the way they're teaching the class, something that may be imperiling you. So what you do is you take it in stride, you go back and you have 5 opportunities to take a class over. So I explained, from that point on, she cheered up, she was happy and smiling. Now see, you come in here crying, and look, it was just that easy.
Right.
But they do understand though, I'm serious about them grades though. And that's what they look at. But like I tell them, I don't raise sand because you make a bad grade, because I'm looking for the rest of them to be good.
Exactly.
And if they are, you ain't lost that. You're always going to, I told a lady, life is always going to be changing. You're always going to have obstacles. You got to be able to learn to come up with different avenues and stuff. I try to give you those avenues or tell you how to do it. Like I tell them, I will never tell you what to do, but I always will give you avenues in which you need to look at to make your decision, because see, it's got to be your decision. Yes. I don't want you to go home telling your parent, well, Coach told me to do this. No, Coach didn't either. Coach gave us an avenue. You're making the final choice because you're the one that got to live with it. So that's the way we look at it.
So you have your expectations for your team, of course. So going into this weekend with your season opener for the 25th through the 27th, what are your expectations for the women in this season opener?
Well, as I always tell some people, especially my AD, I ain't God. I don't make prognosis. But I do tell my team this: we ain't finishing last.
Yes.
That's all I can say. I don't try. To me, when you start trying to, what I call, tell them what place they may finish in at, that's not doing but putting pressure on them. I don't believe in that. I tell them just as long as you don't finish last, you know. And plus the fact too, a lot of people understand when we go bowling, all the sports here that play D2. We don't play D2. We play D1, D2, D3. And the vast majority of matches we play are D1. Only in our conference do we play D2. A lot of people don't understand that. They thinking we playing like everybody else playing right. D2. So go ahead and look. We play some of them nationally ranked teams. We have beat some of them. We have lost. As I tell my girl, listen, if you could just win 50%, I'm happy. Compared to who we have to play, we win 50%. We doing good because they don't expect it. And as I tell them, think about it, lady. Other than us in our conference, who else in our conference has ever beat D1 schools? Vast majority of the time. Who else? Right. You know, I mean, we go into the NCAA. We have never had a school of ours that rolled a 900 or above. We shot a 900 and 1,000. The 2 times we lost by 2 pins. And we playing D1. So, you know, as I tell my girl, we don't have nothing to be ashamed of when we look at our history versus what other people have done. No. You know, we have the talent. It's just as simple as I tell them, all of us have to arrive at the train station at the same time. If we can all arrive at the same time, we can roll it. But if we have a few stragglers here and there, we got some work to do. We got to work. So, and they look at that and say, Coach, you always say stuff. I say, I ain't got no choice. Listen, because look, I got to deal with all y'all. And now look, all y'all got all these different attitudes now. I got to deal with it. I said, look, I got to get all y'all to be on the same boat. Yes. And they know it to themselves. You know, they say, Coach, we understand what you're talking about because you're right. We all different because some of us have our own problems amongst ourselves. But as I tell them, listen, when you're a team, you got to set stuff aside to become one. If you want to win, as they say, win them rings, go to the NCAA, you got to be as one. We can't be as many. We got to be one. So that's what we strive for.
All right. And there you have it, guys. I've sat down with head coach for the bowling, Bobby. You guys can check out the live stats as they will compete in their season opener this weekend, the 25th through the 27th.